I would like to invite today's speaker, Dr. Kritika Shuhas Chaudhary, MD PhD, Assistant Professor of PG Department of Dravaguna, National Institute of Ayurveda, Jaipur. And we are very happy to invite you, Doctor, for today's session. It is a continuation session of the last week, applied aspect of karma in Dravaguna. So it was a wonderful session the last week, what you have given. So we are getting so many positive response also in this regard. So we are welcoming you for today's session. So in that, so I'm briefly introduced Dr. Kritika, and she had did her BAMS, MD, and PhD from Gujarat Ayurveda University, Jamnagar, and presently she is working as assistant professor of PG Department of Dravaguna, National Institute of Ayurveda. And apart from that, she is a very good friend of mine. So in this, not taking too much time, so I am inviting Dr. Kritika for her second session of applied aspect of karma in Dravaguna. Welcome, Doctor.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And it is really good opportunity to be a junior of respected sir. We had been very notorious junior. I know that, but we have learned so many things from you and Roshi madam, sir. And it would be always honor to be any activity, to be the part of any activity you share to the fraternity of Ayurveda, sir. We will go to the topic. Uh, Previously we had discussed about some concept regarding deepan pachan etc, and we had got lack of time, and that is why we had gone for short description of some terms, but I thought that these things are lacking in my speech, so I had requested sir that sir, I will continue for second session also, because it would be great to share my thoughts on this platform to the people, because it is uploaded through Facebook and it can be there. So anyone can access this thing from the Facebook platform, and it is very good initiative from I Ask Ayurveda, that proper knowledge of Ayurveda or knowledge of Ayurveda can be shared to anyone on any time. So it is really great opportunity for me. Let's continue with the topic. So we have discussed Chedan last time, and we have seen the definition of Chedan. Slishtan kafadigan doshan unmulayati yad balat Chedanam tad yathakshara marichani shilajatu. Chedan, Lekhan, Bhedan. These are the terms which removes the arm or vitiated doshas in different stage or in different condition. There is different in there is, you can say, taratamyata, or difference of degree in action or process of the dravya. For example, we have here Sharangar has given example of Kshara, Maricha, and Shilajatu. Kshara scraped out the kapha or arm from intestinal wall. Marich acts on both the level, on intestinal wall, arm, or and as well as Dhatvagni Mandya or Dhatugatam. That is why Trikatu is essential part of each and every medicine, each and every Rasaushadhi. That is why it get absorption in the system very well, and it get digested in system very well, and that is why it acts immediately. So this is the property which Kshar and Maricha have. Same way Shilajatu is working, but affinity of Shilajatu is mainly on Dhatu level. That is why Chandra Prabhavati is very effective in all types of Dhatvagni Mandya and all types of Dhatvagni related disorders. See, Shilajatu is working very effectively in Madhumeha Samprapti. Why? There is also necessity of Chedan Karma in Samprapti of Madhumeha, where Kled or arm is deep seated through vitiation of Kosthagni as well as Dhatvagni. So, when we require this type of result, we need to use Chedan Dravya. Usually, Amla, Lavan, and Katuras Pradhan Dravya are Chedan Dravya, or which is acting as Chedan Karma, doing Chedan Karma according to Gangadhar. Here, Shadangdar has defined this thing, and Kashiram, the Tikakar of Shadangdar, has said that Yadravyam Shlishtan Maladikan Doshan Baladunmulyati Swabhavan Nashayati Tat Chedanam Gleyam. It not only it detach the dosha or arm from the body, but along with that it destroys or digests it with its properties. Admal has also said this thing, but he has in detail defined the slishta term. Slishta, or what is stuck, how we can understand what is the stuck things. Paraspar grathitani, like they are adjoined or connected to each other. When we make some dough, see, I'm giving the simplest example. When we are making some dough, we are adding water, we are adding oil, we are adding all the things. But if there is not proper churning process, then it will cause little bit bubbles, or that will not be binded properly. That can be understood as example of gratita, where some undigested particles are there, or unmixed particles are there, that should be removed. And here char work. See, when we make instant foods like khaman, like dhokla or instant dosa, here we are adding eno, or we are adding soda. That is also kshara dravya, which removes the grathita paste or grathita particles, and makes the fluffiness in that, and how that is how it is got lighter. Okay, same way this kshara dravya acts in the body, but be careful that kshara can cause vat prakop in the body also. So that should be used cautiously, and that is why charak has prevented regular use of kshara. Atyartha kupitani apare. That is, Adamala is saying that with Shlishta we can say Atyartha kupitani. Means it has got in the stage of like say Sanchay Prakop Prasar and then Stan Sanshray and Vyakti. It is deeply seated in the strotas, or deeply stuck in the body, and made the layers out of the layers due to Nidan Sevan. Then we need the stronger medicine to stuck out these things. This is one stage upper than Lekhan. Kafadikan doshan, Kafadikan doshan adi grahanena. These doshas can be understood as Vata, Pitta, Kapha dosha, as well as Rakta, as well as Krumi. Here he has very intelligently added Krumi in the term, because when we are doing the Krumigna Chikitsa, when we are giving the endhelming medicines, we have to give there some Tikshna medicine along with some Rechan, because it expels out or scraps out the dead Krumi from the body, and that should be removed by the Virechan. And that is why he has included Krumi here. The drug which forcefully detaches the doshas and malas stuck in the body is called Chedan. It is more strong than Lekhan, as I said. Acharya Shushuras indicate Chedan karma by the Kshar in the treatment of Arsha, which is Mridu, Avagad, Raktaj, and Pittarsha. See, here is also Sir Shushut has said the Chedan karma in the surgical aspect, whereas when we are talking about Maricha, Shilajatu, etc., then it is therapeutical aspect. Charak has described Chedan as one of the action of Hingu, that is digestive also. Gangadhar has said that said that it is predominant in Tikshna Gun. In a broad sense, Chedan is cut through tissue. That part will be removed as well as digested. whereas lekhan is scraps away mul from body. This is little bit slower process in comparison to chedan. So lekhana, I will explain in later slides. Lekhana will scrap out gradually from the body or from the srotas, but chedan is acting immediately and effectively. So it is like a thorough and term. You can say superlative degree of scrapping action is chedan, and its lower action is lekhan. The drug which let's go for लेखन धातून् मलान् वा देहस्य विशोषि उल्लेखयेत् चयत् लेखनं तद् यथा क्षौद्रं नीरम् उष्णं वचा यवः. Drug which reduces or scraps away the dhatus and malas of the body after drying up the moisture are known as lekhan. See here, dhatus we can consider when we are talking about therapeutics, we will consider this thing as a vitiated one. But be careful, because nowadays we are taking so many things abundantly, like hot water in the morning. Some people are taking 2 or 3 liters water in the morning, which will act as a lekhan, as well as which will increase lekhan as well as clay the gun in the body, and which can be dangerous because it causes direct vitiation of dhatu. Early in the morning your stomach is very empty, and it is higher chances that this water, hot water, honey water, or so and so water will go in your srotas, and that will block the channel, and that are the cause of so many disorders, like simple from acidity, from indigestion, hair fall, diabetes, or you can say even in kidney disorders also. So we have to be cautious. In Ayurveda concept, we have given Ushahapan, but what is the quantity? It's only on in two handful, like most probably 250 ml, or at the max 400 ml. More than that water is not necessary for the body, and that should be taken very cautiously according to prescription of practitioner. And this kind of awareness should be shared by the practitioner as well as people who are from Ayurveda fraternity. Let's go to the topic. Drugs which reduces or scraps away the dhatus. This is the step by step or slower process. When we are talking about chedan or kshara karma, we are cutting out the things directly once in a time, or in a one or two type of session. When we are talking about kshara sutra also work like that. But in lekhan medicine, it is more slower process in this, and that is why it is used internally for the treatment of medo roga, for the treatment of diabetes. Here the vitiation of dosha and dhatu takes place chronologically, and that is why the body has got the tendency of vitiation dhatu, where you require daily cleansing, daily lekhan, or daily shoshan of the body. And that is why for medoroga chikitsa, for treatment of diabetes or treatment of thyroidism, whereas santarpana is a cause, in these conditions we have to use lekhana medicines internally. That is why in kafaj vikar also, when we are giving sitopladi or any medicine, honey is taken up as lekhan dravya, because in its continuation, it continued intake scraps out the shleshma which is stuck in the system from the body, and that is why it is helpful in initial stage. Later on, when the coughing or pratishaya goes to the vata level, there are indication of avaleha kalpana, there are indication of grita kalpana, and anupan is changed with replaced with ghee instead of honey. Why? Because in that stage the kapha is already scrapped out, but it should be expelled out and the srota should be moisturized to proper breathing or proper channel, proper transformation of the channel. and that is why Anupan is changed with Grita when Vata Prakop conditions are there. So, continue or injudicious use of Lekhan Dravya, which is nowadays in trend. People are not using Grita in their diet, they are not using any kind of oil, and they go oil free diet, they go for like salads. That all dravyas are Lekhan in the property, and long term usage of this thing causes vata prakop in the body, and that is very dangerous. So we have to aware people that balanced diet is very essential. In that cases, these dravya should be used cautiously. See why I am giving this example, because all types of millets are nowadays in trend. Okay, oats, yavar, and whatsoever. Every millet is lekhan, every millet is grahi, every millet is vistambi, every millet is vatrakopi. So whenever you are using these, use it with sanskara, use it with appropriate condition, season, as well as disease. Otherwise, it is causing vata prakopa. Initially it will get, as time goes, जहां तक आपका मेद ऑब्जॉर्ब हो रहा है तब तक वो बहुत इफेक्टिव लगेगा. लेटर ऑन इट कॉजेस वात प्रकोप, एंड आफ्टरवर्ड्स इट इज कॉजिंग obesity of vata predominant. That is more difficult to treat. Okay, because it goes to ekadeshiya vruddhi anyadeshiya kshaya, and that is why it is very essential to use lekhan dravya cautiously or with sanskara for the body. A lekhan drug is usually vayu and agni bhuta predominant. Dalhan defined lekhan drug as the one which removes the kapha and meda. See here, we can understand Dalhan has suggested both external as well as internal modalities, while Gangadhar explained it as the drug which causes cracks in the skin by rubbing the skin. Here, Gangadhar has defined Lekhan Dravya in external modalities only. In surgery, लेखन means scraping with instrument or alkalis. लेखनीय द्रव्य include लेखनीय दशमानी mentioned by Charaka include musta, chitraka, haridra, vacha, etc. And Sushruth had mentioned shal saradigan, which is kafamedo vishoshan, and lekhan, which attributed lekhan karma. Again we comes to kavi, we will define grahi. Here I am taking little bit liberty to repeat my some terms, because last time due to lack of time I could not explain all the aspect which I've shared to you people. So today I'm taking the opportunity again. दीपन पाचन यत् स्यात् उष्णत्वात् द्रवशोषकम ग्राही तत्व यथा शुंठी जीरकम गजपिप्पली. Here, drug which possess deepan pachan property and also dry up the moisture of the tissue and waste of the body are grahi. These type of drug acts on both the ways. It digests the arm, it have the digestive property, it have the appetizer property. Along with that, due to its ruksha guna or tikshna guna, it absorb the armor or moisture or clay of the tissues and doshas, and that is why it is called grahi. Here, Shunti is grahi in context of dosha as well as koshta, and rasadhatu. Jirak is affecting effective in the terms of grahi, both for koshtagni as well as it is effective for medodhatwagni, and also effective for uh, pakwashaigat diseases, and that is why it is very effectively used for all type of digestive disorders. And Bhavprakash has attributed shukral property to it. I assume that this shukrala or shukra vruddhikar property attributed to jirak is acting by its pakwashaygat action, where it removes the arm of Pakwashay or Koshta, and that is why it channelize the digestion of food as well as Rasadhatu, and hence be effective for the body along with Vata Shamana property. The Grahi or Sangrahi Dravya is predominant in Prithvi and Vayu Bhutas usually, according to Chanandar. In treatment of Pitta Grahani, Deepana Grahi drug is mentioned. Also in Pakwati Sara it is mentioned, where uh, Drava Smala Sarana Pravrutti is predominant. Then and that is why it is needed to absorb the excessive fluid which is taking out from the body, and along with that the digestion or samprapti vigatan of apakwa anna is also needed, and these both actions are acted very well by shunthi as well as jirak. Here, Drava Shoshan, where Sushrut was describing Grahi, he has said Drava Shoshan act by Vayu Mahabhut, and Shalandar is explaining this thing, Drava Shoshan by Ushna Virya. That is like a pachan of Drava, pachan of liquefied or undigested dhatu, and that is why it is having Grahi action, because it digests or it boils the excessive fluid from the body. Why this term is given by Shadangdar? Because in the very next stage, he is about to describe Stambandravya, where Stambandravya is explained to have Ruksha Guna, that is absorption category of digestion or absorption. Here, Grahi is like a digestive category, and Stamban is having absorption category. I will describe it in later. Uh, Admal has described here Pakwa Sangrahi and Ama Sangrahi. Pakwa Sangrahi, that is Shita Sangrahi, which stops the flow and prevent the excretion. And Ama Sangrahi Karma, that is Ushna Sangrahi, which will digest the arm and absorb the food and make the absorption of the food and help the proper assimilation of rasadhatu etc. in the body. And that is why in Sutika Paricharya, Siddha Jala with Shunthi, Jeera, Kshatpushpa etc. is advised, because it acts on both the level in Apan Vayu, where Vata Prakop is there in Sutika there, and at that time we need to check the Vata Prakop from the body, as well as we need to make proper rasadhatu so that we can get proper stanya. And that is why here we have a traditional practice to use siddha jala of this kind of grahi dravya for the sutika. That is why I think ayurveda is really wonderful, because it has all type of logic, all type of things very nicely planned, very nicely projected, and very nicely explained. But we just need to understand these things with the light of Ayurvedic principles only. When we are biased by endulmate activity and the digestive activity and the carbonative activity and antimicrobial etc., then we cannot understand these things. But okay, these can be also helpful tool. I am not against these things, but uh, with ayurvedic tools, if we are applying these type of karma and these type of medicine for the chikitsa purpose or for the preventive purpose, this can be miraculously effective for all type of diseases. Let's go for stamban. रक्षाच्छेत्यात् कषायत्वात् लघुपाकाच्च यद्भवेत् वातकृत्स्तम्भनं तत्स्यात् यथा वत्सकटुण्टुक. Drugs which increase Vat by their Ruksha, Shita, Kashai and Laghu Paka properties are Stambha. For example, these are Vatsak and Tuntuk. Here, Stambhan Dravya are good example of Kashai Ras Pradhan Dravya. Here, Kashai Ras Pradhan Dravya act by absorption. So that is why Sharangdar is given example I need to take a 1 second break. Please be there. I will be here on short notice. Apologies for the waiting to all the people. I'm coming back again. Let's talk about Vatsak and Tuntuk. Here it is clearly defined here. Vatakut Stambhanam. It is acting by stopping the flow. Okay, the word to word term here given when I have written it was saying that Raksha Chetyat Kashayatvat Laghu Pakat Yadbhave. The Laghu Vipahak is here, which itself causing digestion, but it has more action by Stambhana property, that is Shoshan or absorption property, and that is why here given the example of Vatsaka and Tutuk. Vatsak that is Kutaj and Tuntuka that is Shonaka. Shonak is given in the group of Dashmula where it has attributed Shothar property by Bhav Prakash. Why that is the Shothar karma attributed by Shonaka is by virtue of its Shoshan guna or Drava Shoshak action which is attributed with Kashairas of the plant. The drug which prevents expulsion of fluid or mala which flows in srotas. See, excessive clay, excessive arm, excessive watery retention, everything is absorbed, and this absorption is stamban. When it is got digested by langhana or swedan, when it is taken out by srotas, then it is swedan. When it is digested, that is grahi. But when it is absorbed, it is stamban. See, I'm giving a very simple example to all you people. When we are kneading a dough, if it is its consistency is very watery, then we will add some flour into it and we will bind it. This is tambana example. And when we are making some dough of let's say halwa or malai or kheer, we are digesting it by agni paka, then it is getting thicker. That is type of grahi example where agni is predominant in action, and in stambhana karma, vayu or shoshan karma or ruksha gun of the dravya is responsible for the action. And that is why Ajay and Shastri has given very nice term or very simplified that grahi as GI protective and absorbent, and stambhan as drug acting on mortality for the generalization. The Grahi drugs will be Ushna in nature and involved with Dravya Shoshan, Dravya Pachan, we can say here, while Stambhan drug is Sheath in nature and produce Stambhana through Vata Prakop or Shoshan. Let's go for Madhakari. Ayurveda is very amazing because it has utilized even clay also. See, even poisonous dravya like vatsana or vish is also utilized for the therapeutic aspect by sanskara. That is the way where we have to understand the term madhakari, because it is the cause of the diseases as well as it is a chikitsa for so many diseases. What is the term? बुद्धिं लुपति यद्द्रव्यं मदकारी तदुच्यते तमोगुणप्रधानं च यथा मद्य सुरादिकम्. It has a predominance of Agni and Vayu according to Rasavaisheshik. Here Admal is defining very nicely. Yadravyam buddhim jnana vishayam lumpati achadayati tat madhakari kathyate. The intellectual or nervous system is lumpati achadayati. It is covered. It is like dominated by these type of medicines or these type of dravya, and that is why it is prohibiting so many activities which are included in karma of buddhi. In term of buddhi, buddhistu medha dhruti smriti mati pratipatti ishu vartate. These are the types where buddhi is considered. Medha, that is granthakarshana samarthya, that is attraction towards the books, attraction towards the understanding of the books. Dhruti is santushti, about the satisfactory feeling or understanding feeling for anyone or any topic or any personality. Anya niyamatmika buddhimahu. Niyamatmika, that is controlling all the things, emotions, memories, intelligence, understanding, everything. Smriti hi purvanubhutasya smaranam. Previous things or all the aspects of memory, that is smriti. Arthadharana shakti iti anye. That the smriti is also considered as a topic, understanding, consideration of understanding, or how you understand or how you remember the things, that is also smriti. So smriti, mati, buddhi, etc. is covered by tamogun. Tamogun pradhanam. That is why it is said that tamogun. See, I will emphasize here that all karma is mentioned by ruksha gun, lagu gun, tikshna gun, uh, or guru gun. Okay, snigdha gun. But here, when we are talking about madhakari dravya, he has clearly mentioned tamogun pradhan, that is psychological gun, which act both on central nervous system as well as our psychosomatic system. See, that is why madhakari dravya, if intellectually used, that is very good treatment for now the psychosomatic disorders, insomnia, or mental health related problems. And that is why when describing this madhakari thing, Admal is clearly saying that first stage of mother or maximum second stage of mother is very good for the body, because it improves the socialization, it improves the activity of mind, it relax and calms your irritation, it relax your body, and that is why you can work out very well in the. But when we are going for later on stage, or we are going for more intake of madhakari dravya in our lifestyle, then it is hampering and vitiating all type of our intellectual, our srotas, and our body as well as. So we have to use this dravya according to our our medha, our buddhi, cautiously, which is defined here, which affect the clear sensorium. Madhya, Sura, Dhatur, Ahifen, Bhanga, which are the example of Madhakari Dravya. These affect the oj due to Ushna Tikshna Vavai Vikashi Gun, but it hampers the gun because it is Viruddha gun of ojas, and that is why it reduces the ojas. And ojas is not only the ultimate dhatu, according to ayurved concept. In broad term, if we go for oja, it is very useful for psychosomatic, intellectual, your immunity, as well as your digestion, etc., and your metabolism. So ultimately, ati yoga of madhakari dravya affect all these aspects, and we can see very practically these things in day-to-day lifestyle also. Also, it affect with hridaya, with Jhataragni, and that is why it gets spread immediately in the srotas and as well as dhatu, which causes dhatu shaithilya, which causes vitiation of rakta and etc. And that is why cause of various diseases, including liver disorders, including udar roga, including ushnata, including diabetes, including all type of systemic disorders. So when we are treating when we are treating uh, addiction or de-addiction person, we have to go for ojo vardhan treatment on both the levels, so matlab physical level and also on the psychosomatic level. Here, tamogun is acted, and that is why sattva guna vriddhi is essential, which can be utilized by pranayam, which can be utilized by yoga practice, which can be utilized by achar rasa, and that is why dincharya, rutucharya, and achar rasayan is essential for our lifestyle. See, I am broadening these things, but if you want to learn the application or applied aspect, this is the concept where we have to apply the karma. Otherwise, in context of dravya, we all will study and we all will prescribe the medicines. But in which context out of the box we can think about it and how we can utilize, or how we can utilize for the diagnosis of the disease, that is also important. Okay, let's go for next. प्रमाथि नित्यवीर्येण यद्द्रव्यं श्रोतेभ्यो दोषसमुच्चय निरस्यति प्रमाथि स्यात् तद्यथा मरीचं वचा. Drug which expel the mul from various channels or system because of its potency. Here the potency is tikshna gun, according to my opinion. This is particularly available in maricha, it is particularly available in vacha. That is why vacha is considered vak vahni vardhini by Acharya Bhav Mishra. Here, the Pramathi gun of Marich is very different from Chedan. Chedan is taking out the dosha, but Pramati is one step ahead to that. In other words, Chedan may be general effect of Marich, while Pramati is specific effect which directly linked up with its Virya alone. Similarly, Lekhan is the general effect of Vacha, while Pramati is specific. See, Vak Vahni Vardini. Here, Vak matlab speech. The speech is action of Indriya as well as Dhatu, as well, accumulated action of Dhatu, Indriya as well as uh, Agni or Buddhi. So when it is acting on this thing, why it is called Vakvani Vardhini? Because it removes the avran of kapha, it removes the avran of tama from the tongue or from the buddhi, and that is why it is Vakvani Vardhini. That will be useful for speech, and along with that, application of speech. Intellectuation of the speech is also improved by vacha, and that is why its action is different, and it different than Chedan. That is why it is one step ahead. See again, I am talking. Lekhana is a simpler degree. It is more. It's more up. Chedan is upper than that, and Pramathi is one step ahead to both these action. These drugs will act upon the sanchay of the dosha, that is during early stage of pathogenesis. Let's go for abhishandi, which is the very big cause of today's lifestyle disorders or today's diet system, because we are using dadhi, we are using lassi, we are using various type of dugdha vikar, which all are caused abhishandi or srota rodhakari. That the definition given by Shadangdar is Pechilyat Gauravat Dravyam Rudva Rasavahasira Dhatteyat Gauravam Sattat Abhishandi Yathadadhi. Drugs which act by their pitchil guru properties and block the passages of Rasavaha Srotas. Here, Rasavaha Srotas can be considered all the Srotas, all the channel which flows the essential fluid of the body, that can be considered as vah, yeah, srotas. And due to its heaviness, it causes obstruction in the body, and that this is called abhishandi. For example, the example given are dadi as a by Shadangdar, and in clay davastha, chincha, apakwa, anna, etc., also called abhishandi, which are the main cause of vitiation of main cause of ama production or apakwa anna ras production. Abhishandi Abhishandi is a big cause of so many lifestyle disorders. And when it comes to thinking of Ayurveda fraternity, we all prohibited Dadi. There are some excuses that it is very rich source of protein, it is very rich source of lactobacillus bacteria, etc., etc., and that is why it is essential for everyone, that should be taken daily. There are some practices in many parts of India that the curd is consumed on daily basis, though they have given some sanskar, but we have to use this cautiously, because Dadi Sevan is only indicated to those person who is working hard physically and who can digest or absorb its abhishanda gun by the property of their digestive action. But nowadays, when we are talking about, when we are sitting 9 to 5 and sitting in front of tablet, in front of laptop, in front of our mobile, and we are using air condition, centrally air conditioned offices, and we are preventing ourselves from sunlight or the activities which are naturally sroto shodhan kar exercises, we are preventing ourselves from daily walking. Simple walking is also not there in our day to day practice. In that condition, we are already santarpanatha person, and for that people, it is not advisable to consume curd daily. In these conditions, we should definitely consume the curd by following Ayurvedic principles. In which season we should not consume, then we should prevent ourselves, or we can utilize chachika, the lighter version of dadi, by its virtue of digestive property. We can utilize that. Let's go for next. Vyavai purvavyapakilam kayam tatah pakam cha gacchati. First, the Vyavai dravya will spread in the body. Later on, it goes for paka, and that is the example where bhanga, ahifen are given by Shadangdar. विकासी is sandhi bandhamstu shithilan yat karoti vikashi tat विश्लिष्योजश्च धातुभ्यो यथा क्रम कोद्रव. Here Vikashi is like Vyavai only, but what it does, it get digested in the body. Along with that, it immediately acts on Sandhi Bandhastu Shithila, like it breaks the connective tissues channel, and it Vishlishya Oja, that it breaks the oj or dhatu from the body, and that is called Vikasi. The drug that immediately gets absorbed even before digestion are called Vyavai. It is predominant in Vayu and Akash Mahabhut, where Vayu is causing the speed or absorption of the dravya, and Akasha is the responsible factor for porosity and where it gets absorbed. Okay, that is why here Visha, Ahifen, and Bhanga is given as example. Vyavai dravyas are basically Saragun dominant, and that is why it is getting spread in the body. But Vikasi dravya are one step ahead to that, which are Krishna Guna predominant, and that is why it acts immediately on Oja, it acts immediately on Sandhi Bandhan. रसायन रसायनं च तज्ज्ञेयं यत् जराव्याधिनाशनं यथा अमृता रुदन्ति च गुग्लुश्च हरितकी. Here, rasayan term is nowadays in very what to say in trend because of its immunomodulatory action, etc. But Ayurvedic rasayan term is one step ahead to that, because in each and every stage of disorders, the Amavastha, Pachimanavastha, and then Pakvavastha is there, where dosha is get digested, and then later on to take the balance of the body, you need to apply Rasayan Chikitsa in each and every aspect, whether it is a aspect of life, that is Balyavastha, Yuvavastha, Jaravastha, Tarunavastha, in each stage of life, whether it is a life cycle of a woman, that is menarche, menopause, pregnancy, post pregnancy, okay, whether it is a post disease condition or pre disease condition, each and every stage of disease, if we apply rasayan intellectually, it is very effective to prevent, and that is why it is said as Yat Jara Vyadhi Nashanam. See, we have coined the Rasayan term with immunomodulation or immunosuppressant or immuno boosting only, but it has very broad aspect, very broad thing to do, and that is why here given the example of Haritake. Guduchi is expected here, Guglu is expected, but Haritake is considered as Rasayan because it gets digestive effect for all the stages of disease, all the stages of Dhatu, all the stages of Koshta, all the stages of Panchabhutagni, and that is why Haritake is called as Rasayan. It is very well said that Mata Yasya Gruhe Nasti Tasya Mata Haritaki. When we are talking about mother, mother is effective, mother is helpful for all the aspect in the family. The same way Haritaki can be utilized. Rutu Haritaki is the very good example for this. And I have utilized Rutu Trifla in the same context. Sometimes Haritaki is found ruksha for the people. देन सेम वे अनुपान भेद से अगर हम त्रिफला का यूटिलाइजेशन करें तो वो हर सीजन के लिए आम पाचन का कार्य बहुत अच्छे से करता है. दैट कैन बी यूटिलाइज फॉर ऑल टाइप ऑफ संतर्पणोत्थ व्याधि. लेट्स गो फॉर मेध्य. Very nicely Charak has mentioned Medhya Ras in concept of Medhya Rasayan. Ayuh Pradani आमयनाशिनानि बलाग्निवर्णस्वरवर्धनानि मेध्यानि च एतानि रसायनानि मेध्या विशेषेण च शंखपुष्पी. See, Mandukpani Swaras, that is useful for CNS level of Rasayan. Yashti Madhu Churna, that is useful for Rasadhatu, skin related disorders, or Keshya Varnya in that context. Guruchi Swarasa is useful for Rasadhatu, Raktadhatu, for immunomodulatory stage of the body, and digestive, as well as digestion level of the body, and Medodhatu also. Along with that, Shankapushpi is utilized, where Shankapushpi and Mandukapani both will work for psychosomatic level. So these are the representative of Medhya Rasayan Dravya, where virtue of these are appreciated by Charak by saying Ayu Pradani, which is giving longevity, Amaya Nashanani, the disease preventing, Bala, that is energy, Agni, Bala is both physical as well as intellectual. The power of speaking, the power of memory, the power of continue intellectual work, the power of consistency, the power of patience, the power of stereo. These all the things are attributed by Medhi Rasayan. Okay, Agni. Agni here considered as both Koshtagni Dhatwani, especially Medu Dhatwani. Varna Swaravardhanani. Varna, that is color enhancing. See, when we are calm from our mind, when we are intelligent, we are confident on our intellectual status, in our mental status, the Varna, the oja, the luster of the skin will enhance automatically. These things are attributed to Medya Rasayan. Okay. Medyani Chetani Rasayanani. Medya Visheshana Shankpushpi. Shankpushpi can be act on both the level, physical level, psychosomatic level, and that is why it is more appreciated by Charak. Dalhan has attributed Ayurbala word or term to Medhya Dravya or Medhya Rasayan Dravya. Here is also he is saying the same thing, the broad aspect of Medhya Rasayan, which is acting on psychosomatic level. Nowadays, it is very essential because of our lifestyle and mental health, and its related disorders are there, and that should be prevented by Medhya Rasayan. Madhya Rasayan is Manduk Parni, Shankapushpe, etc. There are categories of Rasayan. Okay. There are categories. I have talked about this in previous lecture also. Here are some broad category I am showing you. Madhya Rasayan, that is acting on mental health as well as psychosomatic disorder. These are Mandukpani, Shankapushpi, Vacha, Jyotishmati, etc. Doshakna Rasayan, that is Ballatak, Haritaki, Rasono, etc. Dhatugat Rasayan, that is Ashwagandha, Amlaki, Guglu, etc. Here, Rasayan term can be both, that is nurture, that is like poshak rasayan, and the rasayan dravya which act on agni or which act on digestion or assimilation in the body. In that way, tikshna dravya or ushna dravya is considered as rasayan, such as haritaki, vacha, jyotishmati, rason, etc. And saumya dravya which are acting as rasayan, that is nurturing nature. Here, Agniya Dravya or Ushna Dravya or Tishna Dravya, which are acting as Rasayan, acts on Agnimandya or Srotorod of the body, and clears the Sotoros of the body, and that is why it is helpful as a Rasayan Dravya. And in next stage, we should use the Shaman type of Rasayan, that is Shankapushpi, Ashwagandha, Amlaki, Shatavari, Vidari, Musli, etc. So both type of rasayans are available there, and how and in which condition and which stages we are using that, that should be assessed, that should be properly applied with yukti principle by the Vedya, and that is why there is a siddhant of purusham vikshya. Vajikaran. Vajikaran is also very, what to say, Badnam, notorious term from Ayurveda. In previous, only Ayurveda was identified only by Panchkarma and Vajikaran medicines only. In some now its aspect is broadened. Now it is identified by immunity and all other treatments of the all other aspects of Ayurveda is introduced to the system, but previously it was very popular. And it is described by Shadange that Yasma Dravyat Bhave Strishu Harsho Vaji Karam Tutat Yatha Nagbaladhyasu Bijam Cha Kapikachujam. Here the term is given that that is very pleasure to the female, but Vajikaran term is more than that. Here, Vajikaran is connected with Shukra Dhatu. Shukra Dhatu is the highest form of Dhatu which is existed in the body. When highest form of Dhatu is appropriate, we can understand that all the Dhatus are good in condition or good in its appropriate condition, or all the agni is in level. And that is why it is important. And it has been given so many attributed action by which it is acted. When Charak has described rasa pradosha vikar, he has described klebya. Okay, so Shukra Vikruti is directly attributed with Rasa Dhatu Vikruti. Dhatwagni Mandya plays a very essential role in Shukra Vikruti. That is why nowadays infertility cases are increasing so much. This infertility is more associated with Santarpanotha Vyadhi instead of direct vitiation of Shukra. So differentiation in both the chikitsa should be appropriately maintained, and along with by that principles only we should treat the infertility cases, or we should apply the vajikaran dravya to the body. Shukra Rechan, that expels out the Shukra from the body, that is Bruhati Phala given as example. Shukra Dravya that promote the Shukra Dhatu in the body directly, that is Ashwagandha, Kshira, etc. Nakraret is also given here. Shukra Stambhaka, that is Jati Phal, that act as a Stambhan Dravya here. Shukra Shoshan, which absorbs the Shukra from the body, that is Haritaki. Shukra Janan and Pravartak, which is producting the shukra dhatu, as well as it is expelling the shukra dhatu. Both type of property or actions are attributed to kshira, masha and bhallatak. Here bhallatak we can consider is a its seeds which are considered sorry, phalamajja, which are considered attributed vrishya property. Ilian Chilian sir can elaborate that very well. I think sir, you should describe Bhallatak to the people in a session. I will definitely attend that. Shukra Pravartaka, considered as three. जीवनीय जीवनीय प्राणधारण आयुष्य और संधारकम. जीवनीय द्रव्य as are attributed to rasa to nourish the dhatu of the body. Same way balya will work. Balai hitam balya. Here balya can be considered in the both term. To increase the energy and to increase the stamina for the long term of duration. These balya and bruhan, both the dravyas are nowadays getting in research for the aspect of sports medicine, as well as in the areas where more or excessive physical work are required. For example, we can say if proper application of balya and bruhan dravya are there, we can utilize these things for army person, for the navy person, for sports person, or for the persons who has more physical work or more physical exertion in their lifestyle. Deha bruhanaya hitam bruhanam. Mamsam Bruhaniya. Mouse is considered as Shrestha Dravya for Bruhan, which is directly increasing the muscle strength of the body, and that is why it is called Mamsam Bruhaniyanam. It is Prithvi and Ambu Guna Bhuishta. It is more predominant in Prithvi and Jala Mahabhuta, which are the essential Mahabhut for forming the body, for forming the muscle structure, for forming all the dhatus, all the dravyas in the body, and in that way it increases all the mass, all the muscles in the body. Bali and Bruhan Dravya or Jivani Dravya or Rasan Dravya, these things should be utilized for the treatment, but before that it is essential to make or prepare our body for that by increasing Dhatvagni, increasing Koshtagni, and removing Ama. And that is why before treatment, before application of any type of rasayan, there is indicated some Shodhan, Vaman, Virechan, or Panchakarma, or simple Shodhan process, which are described by Acharya Charak in Rasayan Chikitsa, that should be applied. Because if the cloth is clean, then only the color will be applied properly. Okay. So these are the terms I have described here. I am again grateful to respected Jillian Chilian sir to providing me opportunity to my share my views, and it would be my honor and privilege if I can have opportunity to have another lecture in next time series of I Ask Ayush. Thank you, sir. Again, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kritika ji. It was a wonderful session. Thanks for your support. Actually, any doubts are there, the participants can send it as a comments. Uh, in future also, the questions will be answered by the speaker. Thank you, Dr. Kritika ji. We are expecting more sessions from you in future in the Ask Ayush. So definitely it will be a eye opener for the Dravaguna peoples. Thank you, doctor. Thank you for your support.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, doctor.